Hey, do you remember Skylanders? Sadly, I can't talk about it to anyone in public due to the copious amounts of restraining orders I got on me. But that doesn't stop me about talking about it on the internet to you. I think we all remember Skylanders. You know those pieces of plastic you begged your parents for as a kid? Because it was the new hit game. Then fast forward 10 years to them being trash on the side of the road for joggers to pop a squat. Skylanders were at the top of their crop. Literally Toys R Us, may God rest your soul, had shelves filled to the brim like a goddamn ocean. If you didn't own Skylanders, you were basically a bitch on the playground. Yet as time went on, the series fell into the abyss of obscurity. The Skylanders brand have been dragged so deep into the ground today, it basically reached fossils. If you ask anyone about Skylanders these days, it's always met with the same response. Oh yeah, I remember those. So when can I see my family again? Recently, I've been going down memory lane the older I've gotten. I played Spyros Adventure and Giants when I was younger, and I remember the joy of buying toys for these games. And now that I'm an adult, I am once again buying toys for this game. Honey, you don't understand. These figures are gonna be the future. What do you mean you're taking the kids? So wipe those tears away and get comfy, because I'm consensually kidnapping you along for the ride with Skylanders Spyros Adventure. Hey everybody, I just want to stop and say if you enjoy the video and you like what you see, then please hit the like button and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you can help me reach my goal to 5K, so any support I get means a lot to me. And also thank you for all the things you guys have done. But tell me down in the comments below, what is your favorite Skylander from the original 32? Mine is Wrecking Ball. He's just a blue ball, and there's no other way to defend it other than saying he's adorable, and if you fight that, I will... No, just don't. Just don't fight it. He's the best. But aside from that, let's get back into the review. So let's get the elephant out of the room. Who the fuck invited you? The game is called Skylanders Spyros Adventure, but the man isn't even at the front of the cover. It should be called Skylanders. Oh, and he's here.
Yeah, except you stay.
The reason for this is during the time Activision was having a bit of a dilemma with its properties. Crash and Spyro were getting handed out to anyone, like how Netflix makes any show if it involves sex. One Purple Dragon though was in a bind with popularity. That's when Toys R Us swooped in to make a Spyro game that was actually going to have mature themes, most likely due to the environment games were at during that time. See, if Batman's out here making paraplegics, then Spyro's gotta make burn victims. They booted that concept off fast to mess around with the idea of meshing toys and video games, an idea that was fresh aside from Webkins being the first to do it. Thus Skylanders was born, that jump-started the era of the Toys for Life, where Skylanders ruled with a plastic fist. Toys for Bob literally became a trailblazer and hit a multi-million idea on their first try. Like, donde? But after all these years, I'm really curious to see how Spyro's Adventure holds up. God knows they went 6 years with this shit. The story is your typical hero's journey dumbed down for pigeons, because Toys for Bob's aimed audience is children. Eon is a portal master who guards the Coral Light along with the guardians, the Skylanders, to protect against the darkness. Yet pouty rowdy little Chaos, an evil portal master, attacks the Coral Light. Halfway in the battle though, he's losing, so he goes full frontal Independence Day and blows that shit up instead, sending the Skylanders to Earth, where you are now a portal master having to rebuild the Coral Light with friends along the way to stop Chaos. Oh, and Eon became a floating head. Welcome, young portal master. My name is Eon, and I'm What? Where's my penis? The story is like Spam. It's not amazing, but fuck it, it's good enough. The pacing was narrow. It's all about, we need this elemental core, but we need this item first. Hey, this character can help. Now I have said item. Now I have said core. Rinse and repeat. How the hell did I end up here? Just because I'm an adult who craves more thought-provoking experiences like Yakuza doesn't mean I dislike the plotline. The cast of characters who guide us along were decently funny, I will add. Yet you can tell Toys for Bob had a little soft spot for some characters like Flynn, whose role is just playing the obnoxious character who says whatever out loud.
All you gotta do is figure out how to rebuild it. Cake!
He said the booyah!
And clearly I can't forget Chaos because they had high expectations for this guy by really hitting that annoying power-tripping tyrant shtick. His mocking was comedic, but that shit got old fast because it's all unskippable monologues, and I did multiple playthroughs, so at one point I just became decrepit.
Now I will laugh when both powerfully and evilly ends yours.
So let's actually talk about the main aspect of Skylanders.
The figures and foreplay. Goddamn autocorrect. Or was it?
The whole gameplay is centered around these little guys. When a Skylander is placed on the portal, they appear in the game. It's a concept that prompts virtual and physical interaction, something spliced well for any audience to adore. Top wanted to emphasize the magic the toys have when placed down, playing into the idea that they come to life.
Like this. Spyro came to life and fucked my wife.
Now the gameplay on the other hand is very simplified. The game plays in an overhead perspective, mainly focusing on adventure and beat 'em up elements. Skylanders offers any players a chance to pick up and play because it's not difficult to understand. Most characters have close range to far range attacks, and a majority of the third move is flying. I noticed 21 out of 32 characters having range attacks of some sort. That is beneficial, yet I feel like it groups a lot of them to feeling very similar. While 8 characters have dedicated flight moves, that disappoints me because of the rare occasions it's needed. But I believe the identicalness stems from how Toys for Bob assumes we wouldn't have every figure.
I took that as a personal challenge.
So they made most characters function the same for versatility. As long as you have one Skylander of each element to get past these gates, you're golden! Plus, the original starter pack is perfect enough to get you by, in my opinion, to even beat the whole game if you so cared.
I like how they aren't forcing the players to collect these figures, and instead collecting is just like a personal desire if you would want them or not. It's a really cool business practice that I'm happy they started in the first game. Now clearly you can tell they didn't continue it, but hey, I mean, it started somewhere, so I don't know. Woohoo!
Oh, what's that smell? Is that biased nostalgia? Because I love it! Upgrades, people, upgrades. That's what Skylanders has. Every character has a skill tree that you upgrade towards with a diverting path to focus on one aspect than the other. This lets you tailor your Skylander to your liking by focusing on your own personal preferences. Sometimes the Skylander will cosmetically change to even add in a bonus combo to their arsenal. I love in games that when you upgrade a character, you actually upgrade a character, especially by the pure carnage that ensues. Witness my code! Upgrading is a bit tedious though, especially for Spyros Adventure. Throughout levels, you collect money from anything, with bigger payouts being collecting relics and finding treasure chests, where you jerk off a ghost. Now I have my money and I lost my dignity. A big issue I have is once you collect all the chests and treasures, you're shit out of luck. So you better find other ways to earn that muns. There is a method to get money from multiplayer games, yet it's a tedious process, especially when you have 32 Skylanders to upgrade. Now the levels are straightforward with light puzzles and exploration off the beaten path. The levels don't end there, as Spyros Adventure has 4 adventure packs too.
Look, it's physical DLC and I'm still sad I paid for it.
Each adventure has a mini story with a gimmick. For example, Dragon Peak lets you fly on a dragon, and Pirate Seas has pirates who play memory match too.
Oh, it's right between chapter Swashbuckling and Yahari.
Personally, I feel very indifferent with the levels because they do add a gimmick to spice up the stew, where a couple of slurps were enjoyable and then I got McDonald's. Sometimes I feel like I could do 6 levels in a play session, and in 3 levels in, I was satisfied. Now, I don't hate the levels. I actually did enjoy them. I just personally feel like they were missing something, like more enemies, puzzles, Sephora? But one thing I hated with a passion was Chaos's Castle on Xbox/PlayStation because of this elevator sequence taking the travel time from California to heaven. They even put motion tracking electric traps that do massive damage.
Like, look, if I wanted cock and ball torture, I would have played Sonic Unleashed for the Wii.
But the fight with Chaos was awesome. I mean, all the bosses are just evil Skylanders clones and are basically bullet hells. Yet Chaos's fight was this fucking climactic battle with so much nonsensical nonsense on the screen.
I just wanted to play a game meant for kids, not a driver's test in India.
For some reason though, on my Wii playthrough, Chaos healed himself randomly, and I don't know why, and I still don't know why, but it sent me and my Wii into cardiac arrest.
Meanwhile,
Doctor, tell me, what's wrong with my body? Well, it seems to me that you have copious amounts of Skylanders lodged inside your anus? Oh, that's just because they're so damn charming and the perfect segue to talk about it. Sir, your colon is going to fucking explode.
Skylanders are so cool. The design on the figures truly convey what each Skylander will do. Look at Gilgrunt. He is Fish Boy with harpoon gun. Now look at Chop Chop. He is Skelly Man with sword and shield. Now look at me. I am Potato who makes YouTube videos. Just by looking at these characters, you can already grasp what their game style is, just by the physical details on the figure.
Now, Keese.
I love the out-of-the-box concept for some of these characters, like Trigger Happy shooting money, to Wrecking Ball doing vor, and holy shit, it's a flying turtle! But Spyro's Adventure isn't Spyro's Adventure without the hub world, and also Spyro with the adventure. Didn't think that far. The hub world is an open sandbox to explore, with an added bonus to fuck around with the sheep. There's something poetic when a game adds multiple animations to torturing little woodland creatures. Now I know I said the level's gameplay was plain like a peanut, but the visuals on them are fantastic. Tob took some different approaches to common cliches, such as a beautiful forest now becoming industrialized, to full-blown World War I trenches. So the trolls and the Mabu were fighting in a war, but trenches and artillery.
Holy shit, Chaos is Hitler.
I'm a big fan of video game music, so I have to acknowledge Spyro's Adventure for having some bangers. Most songs are orchestrated dynamic music, like a serene tune that slowly builds up to trumpets motivating you. Some of these songs really hit me in the nostalgia gut, as the hub world music nearly brought me to tears.
Wow, I haven't heard that song in like 12 years. Fuck, I'm old.
My favorite though is the fight against Chaos. This is where they kicked the orchestra band to the side and said, "Are you ready to get fucking down?" I don't know why they went for a dubstep approach, but I dig this shit. It is honestly the hypest moment in Spyro's Adventure. When it comes to graphics though, that's when things get funky. You've probably noticed a difference in quality footage throughout my review.
And if you didn't, check again.
The reason behind this was Spyro's Adventure was going to exclusively be a Wii title, yet Activision felt it would be better to spread out for better sales. So another company came in and started crafting the Xbox/PlayStation version side by side with Tob. Yet this created a plethora of many differences within the two versions. Some notable ones are the PNG end credits for the PlayStation/Xbox version versus the Wii having Flynn talking to you. The biggest difference is definitely the graphics. The Xbox/PlayStation version has better lighting with environmental details, with the Skylanders themselves having more complexion. Meanwhile, the Wii version is a bit more compressed and saturated with its colors, and the Skylanders designs feel more cartoony. When comparing certain Skylanders side by side though, it's like night and day. Look at what they did to my boy Slam Bam. This is before meth and after meth.
Cherry? Another cherry?
The Xbox/PlayStation version is far more superior for the better graphics, yet I still personally prefer the Wii version. When I think of Skylanders, my mind thinks of the Wii and Hawaiian Punch. Look, 11-year-old me was popping bottles like no one's business. But the Wii version just hits a nostalgia chord that feels like the true Skylanders experience.
You can't say Skylanders without the Wii. And you can't say anime without the titties.
It's crazy how 12 years have passed since Spyro's Adventure. Looking back, I love this game, and replaying it now, I still adore it. You can tell Toys for Bob put a lot of love into the first game. Yeah, it's rough around the edges and honestly basic to its core, but that's okay. Sometimes a game doesn't have to be technical or with jaw-dropping graphics. It just needs to be fun, and Skylanders captures that with its uniqueness of bringing toys to life.
For the first in the series, it hit hard with nostalgia and my bank account. But now it's time to continue the series, as the next game was a huge successor. I'll be here all day. But for now, my Skylander rant is over. Oh, what sweet hell have I brought upon us. Welcome, ladies and gents, to my magic show. Due to a lot of people suing me over emotional violence because I talked about Skylanders, I have now taken the art of magic. And for today's act, I will take these legal papers and I will make them disappear.
remember Skylanders in some shape or form, from playing the game, seeing it at stores, or even at elementary book fairs.
They were everywhere, even in the bathrooms. You can run, but you can't hide.
Skylanders Spyros Adventure set the fireworks toward a brand new genre of gaming that captured the attention of children and grown adults. SA was such a huge success for splicing toys and games together in such a charming way, being the trailblazer it was. Top built a solid foundation for the first entry in the series, yet it had its flaws. It suffered from plain level design, money acquiring problems, and monotonous story pacing. This was probably due to the risky idea and fear of reception Activision felt, but when the game released...
Okay guys, I was literally gone for like 1 day and this was at my door. What the fuck is happening?
Skylanders flew so high into the sky until it fell flat on its head, becoming a dead series that exists in the hearts of dedicated fans like Pokepark stands. After the resounding success of the first game, Activision and Toys for Bob realized the cash cow they had created, so it was a no-brainer that a sequel must be made. It had to be a grand adventure that continued what Skylanders was, something big that makes you want to buy it, and create an allure to the figure so... hefty. As we continue the adventures of Skylanders by taking a tremendous leap of faith with Skylanders Giants.
Hey there everybody, if you enjoy my content and you catch yourself clicking on more of my videos, please help support the channel by hitting the subscribe button and liking the video if you'd like. I appreciate all your guys' support, especially towards my goal to 5K. It's a big ass goal, but hey, we're trying. Also, I just want to thank the people who have subscribed to me. Thank you so much for still sticking with me. But it's questionnaire time. So what is your favorite character from the 16 new Skylanders in Skylanders Giants? Mine is Swarm. Now, is it because he looks cool, or is he a giant, or do I like bees, or am I that weird fuck? No, I only had him when I was a kid. He was the only giant that I went out and I bought, and there's like this weird like PTSD or like emotional connection that could even be romantic. Overall, he's just like my favorite character in the whole game. I keep catching myself throwing him in. I don't know why. Could even be sexual. But aside from that, let's get back into the review.
Oh, Skylanders Giants, the game that said we are bigger, better, and you're adopted. Giants was the sequel we fans knew was coming, yet not so early.
I have made a critical oopsies.
1 year after SA, Giants was made, and they went hard on this sequel. You had children's costumes, Lego toys, and even lethal weapons to promote the game. It was clear Skylanders Giants was going to be their home run. The sequel had a lot riding on it if it was going to tower the success of the first game.
Now, I did make a review on the first Skylanders, so if you want to check that out before this video, it should be right up here. I'm not shamelessly telling you to watch it, but... I'm threatening you to watch it.
Now, I have a spicy take on Giants. I believe this was the beginning of the end for the series. Most people say it was when they added cars that killed Skylanders, like how it did to Family Guy, but I reckon the second game got the boulder rolling.
There is a reason to my madness on why Giants is the catalyst to the Skylanders' downfall, but this is not a court case. This is a casual game review and a Burger King. Come on, what do you want?
Before we talk about the present, we must go back in time, Portal Master. A time where Skylanders were huge rebels that fought against the Archeans, who ruled Skylands with an iron fist. I mean that both literally and metaphorically. After the Giants defeated this bitch of a king, the fist of Arceus that controls the Archeans is severed and all Archeans go into rest mode, and the Giants disappear too, with their existence unknown but only a myth.
I found this one in my bed, but why?
Now back in the present, after Chaos was defeated and sent to Earth, soon after, like my Hatsune Miku figure, he awoke into life with a raging revenge, where he goes back to Skylands and accidentally awakens George Takei-Bot, who assists him towards conquering Skylands by finding the Fist of Arceus in the lost city of Arceus. Do I need to emphasize Arceus more? Meanwhile, the Skylanders discover Chaos's plan and goes on a globe-trotting adventure to beat him. The story is a much better improvement from SA, and the pacing within it felt natural than repetitive. The little hiccups along the journey were refreshing. It didn't feel like padding and just fleshing out the Skylands. But occasional moments did feel undercooked, like the introduction of Machine Ghost, who is lonely, so we help him back into his Archean robot. But then the next chapter, he sacrifices himself to save us with no time to truly feel an emotional impact for. Even the characters weren't fazed by it and just carry on. But he comes back in the end to save us, so fuck it, I guess. I'm not nagging for an emotional moment.
I'm 22 and I own these. Get me behind the writer's chair immediately.
I just feel like they had plans to keep him around longer, but something got lost in translation, so we got a very lackluster death scene that deflates me. Speaking of lore though, I will praise Tob on how they built upon the characters within the universe. Back in Spyros Adventure, they were just trying to hit the quota. Flint is still the same with even more attention on him. I've mentioned this before, but Tob truly has a soft spot for this guy and incorporates him as the pilot to the ship so his role becomes even more prominent. Callie though, who was just there to fill a female role and give out challenges, now has more of a character to her. Tob was thrusting her into intros, outros, sometimes even as the main conversational lead. Her role in SA was abysmal with her traits being
female adventurous boobies.
But Callie is refining more as a character in Skyland and securing a role in the adventures. Yet my man Hugo got done dirty. He was there for everything in Spyro's Adventure. He was our guide, our task manager, my bi-curious college moment. He was just a likable nerd. But in Giants, the man just says bye and you never see him again.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
Hugo got robbed in a Walmart, but chaos is still the same. He continues his angry I poopied my diaper stick, but more of his lore comes from the locals like Willikin Village.
Ooh, Willikin Village is my favorite chapter in the game, and kind of a turn on.
For now, the lore of these wooden dolls were his toys when he was younger, then getting disowned since he took the Bath of Evil. Wait, fuck, I meant the Path of Evil. Oops. Ooh, I'm gonna dip my toes in the Bath of Evil. Just hits you in the heart. Then you find out he was just an ugly rich kid that no one liked, so it makes Chaos a bit more understandable on why he became this way, but my forgiveness is thin, so death. The newer characters though are cool. You have Chompy Mage and eccentric Hoot, whose magical powers is Chompy's. Like, that is both adorable and redundant as fuck.
I am Capybara Man, and I have the power to control capybaras. Only in Europe.
He is going to be an important character later, so Tob is setting the seeds now for his future. Then Ermit, who's a straight up fucking weirdo. He's your at-home skeptic who believes the clouds are plotting against us and cucumbers speak German, while kind of a dickbag, with heart. Oh, I can't forget my favorite character, Blobbers. He is just an unfortunate doof who got a job at a pirate circus. That sounds sexual. We promised at the end to save him to just straight up abandon his ass, as the poor dude just watches us fly away falling to his knees. What's bigger, badder, and stronger?
My prostate. It's actually a very serious problem. I've been talking to my doctor. And fuck Skylanders!
Skylanders are back and the gameplay is a whole lot better than its predecessor. S8 established a form of gameplay for the series where each level was a top-down beat-em-up with minor exploration into elemental gates. Practical, I would say. Giants improves upon the formula with quality of life changes that feel like a whole new experience. Levels have gone a 360 flip. The linear pathing is still there, but levels have more flesh to the gameplay and lore. Each chapter became more expansive by making some collectibles pretty difficult to find. Adding homes you can go into for goodies, with NPCs you can conversate with that gives this adventure much more life. This goes in hand with the themes of every level as essays were basic. Water, fire, dead. So the concept of a globe-trotting adventure gives more leeway to develop uniquer levels that break out of the cliche themes. My top 3 are Willikin Village, Chaos's Home, and Time of the Giants. I love these levels with a passion. Time of the Giants having a brown pasty look with tropical flora, rams grazing the land.
Genetics fucked you hard, huh?
And seeing a piece of history in Skylands was a fun touch to the world. What the fuck? Are those slaves?
History, am I right?
Chaos's Home was a fun touch of lore as you see goofy ass pictures of him, but the real kicker was the transition from the outside his home to then getting to the end was a visually fun ride. Then Willikin Village. I adore this level with all my heart. The theming, lore, and level design is on par here. It's also the first to end with a mini boss that isn't tough but is fun. And the music.
Oh shit.
Here we go again.
Giants carries the baton with his music composed by Lauren Belf. I've said that name completely wrong and I am so sorry. That takes it up a notch, such as Willikin Village somber tone that builds to an uplifting melody, is a serotonin boost that kills hamsters. But the only issue I had with level design is how long some levels are. It's such a nitpicky problem and I know I should eat my broccoli, but levels like finding Arcus's map and exploring Arcus dragged out a bit too much for me. I think it's just the vehicle segments in all honesty. I do love punching things though.
And there comes a giant fish!
I should also mention that Skylanders now have 2 official boss fights in the game.
What? There isn't anything else to talk about here.
This one is in my true life translation.
Also, the difficulty options are a fun inclusion for a more challenging experience if you got bored. Tom was finally acknowledging adults playing their toy game.
Can I fuck the whale?
But the higher difficulty modes just add more bulky baddies that hit like a fucking cruise ship. A tiny little bump I have with this is how normal mode felt like a healthy progression of difficulty from beginning to end because you'll be upgrading Skylanders. Yet hardcore and nightmare mode is a face to the nuts. My only critical opinion is how these harder modes truly show which Skylanders are better versus the others. Because there's so many figures, it's bound to have some weaker ones. Yet now I found myself using characters that are much stronger and versatile because some characters are baby bitches.
I'm sorry, little one. You die in 2 hits and I just can't have that anymore. Don't fucking look at me! I'll see you in hell. Okay, time to go play Pop Fizz.
Hey, have you heard of Sky Stones?
Sir, I peed myself. Yeah, don't worry about it. It happens to all of us.
Grits, Wits, and Tits are aflaming with Sky Stones, the new hit minigame of Skylands. I love the idea of Sky Stones. It's simple to understand and it's a fun little break. It's hit or miss, honestly, cause you're either gonna skip these games or revel in the defeat of others when you hit them with that quad arrow.
Ooh, is this what Hearthstone feels like? Because it feels naughty.
On a side note, there aren't really much differences in Virgin exclusives this time other than HD graphics and Vicarious Visions developing the other version, aside from the Wii Tob worked on. Also, it's absurdly hilarious how fast the lockpicking turn-in is on the Wii U. The poor bugger is just living his life and then whee! Now it's time to get giant. Oh god, please no one ever quote me on that. Giants are not only bigger figures to regular Skylanders, but they pack quite the punch. I mean, the headline for Giants is basically,
They're big.
these figures are jam-packed with a lot of power with a sprinkle of speed. Plus, most of them have visual flair like shaking the screen, slow-mo when they defeat a crowd of enemies, and footsteps when they walk. Giant Skylanders are the beginning of the gimmick line of figures, where Todd will put a heavy emphasis on making sure these new figures will really hit their mark. For the first idea, it's simple and effective. They make it very apparent how fun it is to use a giant. I mean, look at the glow they have when they are on the portal. I adore the raw strength and charm these Skylanders have. I didn't find any giant born because they are all fun to use. The only drawback with giants is how they ate too many Krabby Patties and it went straight to their thighs. They are the slowest figures in the whole game, so with raw power comes great paraplegic speed. I guess that's the balance Tom made when you're a big boy, but at least the newer figures get to shine. I personally like the new 8 Skylanders, with my favorite being Pop Fizz and Sprocket. Tom got adventurous with these figures, really getting more creative and inventive with the gameplay. Like Sprocket's trap-orientated gameplay as she sets turrets and can drive in one. Meanwhile, Chill is a physics-based fighter with her ice blocks that ping-pong all around. I wasn't expecting her to chuck the shit out of her sword though. The new Skylanders bring in charming concepts to their fighting styles that continue the baton the original 32 had, but even better. They finally utilized every button for some type of attack for each character while mixing combinations for even more movesets. And they finally got rid of that basic fly move that just increased speed. But the original figures still have their fly move, sadly. I was let down by one character though, and that is Hot Dog. He has such a cool design, but the gameplay doesn't correlate to it. He's a fire dog who should do dog things, right?
Mom, the dog's flying again.
upgrading became easier as Tob realized that we need money to make the world go around. You got a bank with a huge payout after levels, also arena fights that offer fat cash that can be easy or, stress. Meanwhile, back in the hub, aka the Dread Yacht, I love the irony to the name because it's driven by Flint.
That's like naming your ship the Titanic, or the Riverbed of Stinks, or even Chicago Boat Rentals.
The hub world is smaller with everything in rooms. Tob aimed to compact the hub this time to eliminate empty space that I'm personally iffy about. I like the concept of picking up castaways with each mission. Now this is the beginning of 3 new types of figures that are Series 2, Light Core, and Color variants.
If you just shit your pants by hearing that, it's okay, I understand. Because I did too.
Series 2 are remakes from SA with a new design with a whole new move called Wow Pow. Tob wanted to create this line to give people an opportunity to get a better version of the original with a flashy new pose to boot. These Wow Pow moves are cool though, giving the character a little more oomph in their moveset, making them a bit of on-par creative power with their new brothers and sisters. You can even use them in Spyros Adventure if you owned that game and didn't have the OG figures before. This was Tob's reasoning on why they remade 24 Skylanders, but I smell bullshittery. For example, if you have the original Trigger Happy then bought Series 2 Trigger Happy, you basically paid for Trigger Happy again in another game just to have one additional move.
My god! What form of sadism is this?
To give credit, at least you can follow the other path of the figure that you didn't originally, finally giving players the best of both worlds. But the concept of Series 2 is such a whack-ass idea that I see no appeal in.
And so I bought all of them.
Meanwhile, we have Light Core that are more physically appealing. Light Cores are just Skylanders with screen-clearing nukes that glow. I think my Shroom Boom has hepatitis. I personally have no desire to play with these figures, especially how Light Core figures from the original don't have any new moves or are just even more redundant because they don't even have a Wow Pow, a sentence that makes no literal sense. At least they have little glowy things, so I guess RGB lights do make everything better? Maybe I should Light Core myself. Lastly are color variants. The legendary color palette is back. It was a pretty mediocre style before, with the new ones rocking it. Kinda?
I don't think I can say it.
But now there's some unique color schemes that do give a sleeker look to the character. My favorite is Gnarly Tree Rex for that blue and black look. Variants can also just be physically different, like glow in the dark, where these figures are just for physical appeal and nothing in game is changed. Personally, I think variants are fun to have in a game. I mean, I'm more of a Dr. Mario than Mario myself, so giving people a fun little option to play a character in a different shade is always enjoyable. But these 3 new types of figures contributed to the end of Skylanders.
Hello. Before we continue with the video, you must make a choice. If you choose the blue Pop Fizz, the video ends, and you continue your life happy believing there was nothing wrong with Skylanders Giants. If you choose the red Pop Fizz, I'll show you what destroyed Skylanders and how deep this rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So because Giants was Tob's biggest game that relished in even more success than Spyros Adventure, most people overlook the issues the series will have were lit here. Before going through, I will state I do not hate the game. I prefer Giants more for nostalgia, but the rose-tinted glasses can't glare out everything. The gameplay is the exact same to SA, just with some new tweaks and a flashy new gimmick. It's a Johto to Kanto syndrome, where they reused many assets but fine-tuned them. That is a great leap for the series, yet this happened only a year later! A sequel made to a fun series I like does brand my berries, especially when I was just a little sentient sperm who saw the commercials. But this 1 year period was a shotgun to the thunker. The games being repeated with minor changes oversaturated the series. Starting here was the trend of making a gimmick as fun as possible, then moving on to the next. There's nothing wrong with this practice because these gimmicks just give those figures more allure, but when the next game comes out, I'm gonna fall into the cycle again or feel saturated with it. Do you want to know a real nut kicker? Because the fans did when the amount of new figures came out. The 16 new characters are perfectly fine. No harm, no foul. But in total, there's about 62 new figures.
Oh, by my calculations, if you add it by 42, then multiply it by 2/3 of a fraction, and then divide it by pi, oh, eureka! I found bullshit.
What happened is the rest of those figures are Series 2, Light Core, and variants. To a casual consumer, this is nothing. You buy what you want and you go on. But to a collector, you have to scour the world again and spend hundreds to collect all the figures. That means in a matter of 2 years, you had to spend all this money to collect the old and new toys, where most of those figures are basically the same with a fucking little change.
Do I amuse you? Am I some sort of
No,
clown to you?
I hate my job.
Giants was the trendsetter to the downfall of Skylanders. The grimly hands of Saturation and Company Greed were beginning their grasp on the series that would soon make it the victim of its own success, especially since in the next era Mouse would appear that began its own toy line.
Bow down before the awesome might of this huge guy who's carrying the real contestant, Patrick Star!
But to end with a slice of pizza, Giants truly is a better Skylanders experience. It tweaked, corrected, and wazzle-dazzled fans to make Giants a definitive sequel. The newer figures are welcome additions to even some of my personal favorites, and the gameplay as a whole was a much more entertaining experience. Even though the flames were sparked here, Giants is still a charming game that I recommend trying.
Dang, I guess now that I'm done reviewing Giants, I can't make big jokes anymore. That's a bummer, but that's half as bad as we switch into the next game. Oh shit, it's stuck. But thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. But now, how do I acquire the funds to get those figures?
Wanted to come with you new friends on board.
Hey, do you remember Skylanders? I wonder how many times I can do this before it gets old.
What was a light review for Spyros Adventure and Giants has now turned into an obsession.
This is what OCD looks like.
The journey through Skylands have been quite interesting, from simple beginnings with toys and games turned into gimmicks with paid extras. Skylanders were growing after the first 2 games, and Activision wasn't going to stop milking their golden goose.
Wait a minute, you can't milk a goose. Unless it's golden co-
In 2 years, Tom and Activision have risen an army of toys for life that surged the earth. There were an load of figures that range from ooh, ah, what? But if there are kids feasting for Skylanders, there's reluctant parents buying them.
Hey there, little guy. Do you know why your parents are divorcing? No.
Saturation was beginning by Giants, from the gameplay roughly being the same from before and the quantity amount of figures added. That a majority of them weren't even new characters, but are Series 2 Skylanders that change a previous character in a minor way.
But nonetheless, Skylanders, Spyros Adventure, and Giants were unique experiences and fun to its core. There is no one that could take that away. And then a fucking rat came out.
Disney Infinity jumped into the Toys for Life genre and they were ready to fight. Now people can get their Disney itches by playing with their favorite characters like Mrs. Incredible, Mater, and Johnny Depp like twice. But it was clear the Toys for Life landscape has changed, and Skylanders needed to be prepared for war in 2013. Swap Force is an interesting child in the Skylanders series. Activision had an adultery relationship with the developers being Vicarious Visions. Those cheating whores. Now, was this a good idea in my opinion? Swap Force took a leap forward with everything from SA and Giants and then backflipped that shit into heaven. I mean, this game has all the qualities to an amazing Skylanders experience, like new unique Skylanders, a cartoony graphical update with a quirky gimmick.
We'll be talking about that in a couple of minutes.
But Skylanders Swap Force was the savior to Skylanders. But was it though? We can see in the future what happened. I mentioned before that Giants tipped the boulder, but I believe Swap Force was the death of Skylanders. Now, how can a game save the series, yet destroy the series?
So buckle your pants and say bye to your loved ones, because we are going to go back into the Skylands to see how Swap Force both saved and killed the Skylanders series. And if that is not the title of this video, well, fuck!
This time we don't have to go so far back in history like in Giants, where Mabus were slaves getting mistreated and raped.
Ugh, yeah, we can skip that part of history.
Far off from Skylands resides a volcano known as Mount Cloudbreak that is the source of magic in the world, with the guardians of it being the Swap Force, and every 100 years creatures known as the Elementals will gather to replenish it. Until one day an evil force tried to disrupt the ceremony that the Swap Force were victors, yet they got sent to Earth where suddenly their bodies can switch and now, in the present, we have Flynn on vacation going to watch the ceremony when suddenly chaos attacks.
Typical vacations, really. I mean, who hasn't gone on a vacation where you either forgot like a pair of pants at home, or you lose your ID, or you stumble upon a world war? Just the normal cliche stuff.
Tessa, a resident of Woodbarrow, then needs our help to secure the safety of the Elementals as Chaos is trying to use Petrified Darkness for his Evilizer to baddie up an Elemental to ruin the ceremony. But this time Chaos is not alone as Mummy joins the battle to help with his plans, and may it be child or mother, a Skylander will decide your fate. It's still a basic premise like the previous games, but charming nonetheless. They finally gave Chaos a breather to focus on a new villain which was needed before he gets overplayed like Bowser. Yet he is still the final boss in the game, so he's like Bowser. Huh.
Don't go anywhere. Oh, jeez.
What I loved most from Swap Force was how every intro and outro of a level had a cutscene of some kind to grasp you into the world. These were genuinely nice touches to the plot, and some of them are hilarious.
Here's what we promised you.
Speaking of comedy, I wasn't LMAOing on the floor, but Swap Force had some of the best character archetypes. Flynn is still Flynn, but his flamboyant ladies man stick was mellowed to be more of a blonde bimbo lost in a Kohl's. Chaos is still a poopy diaper baby. Then we have Glumshanks, a character I haven't really mentioned much about till now. He's kinda like the Squidward in the group by his bad luck and how Chaos treats him. That now gets revealed in Swap Force because we see that Chaos treats him shitty because his mom actually cares for Glumshanks.
Maybe Glumshanks was staying around the family for a reason.
Then we have the new cast of characters such as Tessa, who's the outgoing female lead. She was a cool addition with her first introduction getting more love than Callie. Also, she has a bird. Sharp Fin. Sharp Fin was a fun character who's just a pimped out Sharky boy. Then Chaosandra is Chaos's naggy mother who kinda has that back in my day vibe, but it's really the relationships each character had with one another that I adored most. Such as keep saying Fart Fin. Such as Shark Fin being Flynn's best buddy even though the man only thinks of rainbows and wet paint. Or Tessa and Flynn having a borderline shipping with her seeing Flynn's dumbness as heroic. Then Chaos, Glumshake, and his mom's relationship was a funny trio as Chaos dislikes his mom's bickering and Glumshake is just in the middle of them.
Oh yeah. They're fucking.
But all of these new interactions were why I enjoyed the story, and the new characters just flawlessly fit into the world to become namestates to the cast. Except Hugo and Callie, who got like a 10-second cameo on a Skype call, and then you never see their asses again.
Hello, what about me?
No, you're not in this episode.
It's a new game with new figures, and this time we have 4 Skylanders to each element. The new Skylanders are pretty fun in my opinion. I could tell the ideas are getting a bit thin by now.
Like the fuck's a Zulu?
They are still making an effort to create unique characters that offer simple yet impactful gameplay experiences. And it's all thanks to the amount of attacks a character now has. SA was basic with combos that then got better in Giants with more interactive styles, but now with Swap Force they continued down the track with more unique combos. Of course, not everyone got this love, like Dunebug, who got a fucking flying move.
I thought we moved past this since SA, and because of their choices, you must pay the consequences.
But I didn't find any new Skylander personally boring, as every one of them is created in Master Eon's image. Except you. You suck. Even past Skylanders got a lot of love too. Like, they fit right in with the gameplay of Swap Force, and the ones that I didn't enjoy back then now became fun to play. Vicarious Visions took the time to appropriate past Skylanders to the physics of Swap Force so they can profit in the sequel than just get dragged along. Also, the series line of figures still wrangles my jimmies, yet my opinion changed quickly after they made Trigger Happy the Oppenheimer in Skylands.
Oh, okay, Skylanders, you can't fool me. See, first you guys have done World Wars, then you guys have done Slaves, and now you guys bring in the atomic bomb? Clearly, the Skylands is on some Rebecca Sugar shit right now. Now all we're missing is for some character to come out gay in the end, and then we'll fully have a Rebecca Sugar cycle. Please don't hurt me on that.
But if there is one Skylander they royally molested, it's my boy Tree Rex. They made his fist attack complete dog water, as the visual flair and damage are just gone, leaving him a husk of dog shit.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the Giants.
Giants were the previous gimmick that made them loud and proud, so Vicarious Visions didn't forget to give them their previous glamour. So they gave them a chest to unlock.
Yeah, Giants aren't special anymore. Now just being a relic of last year. Well, it's at least better than the shunned one.
As I mentioned before in my Giants review, Giants were more flair with damage, that's why they were fun. Yet when you take the flair away, well, I may need to censor that. Of course, VV wasn't going to give the same amount of love to the previous gimmick, so they gave them the same treatment as the others, that in my opinion is still better than nothing, because VV had their hands tied with the new gimmick of Swap Force.
Another smash hit.
Wow, that's disgusting.
Swap Force is the name and swapping is the game, as the line of gimmicks lets you mix and match Swap Force Skylanders.
Let's ruffle some feathers.
Aw, damn it, my god trial period ended. Well, guess I'll just use another email.
I mentioned earlier how every new Skylander has more tools of the trade, so when you combine that with a gimmick that lets you swap two playstyles into one, well, you got yourself a sweet old apple pie.
Oh, no. I just got dog shit. Yeah. Oh, is that a dead rat in there?
Swap Force Skylanders' uniqueness is the top and bottom. The top is where the money is stored with 2 attacks, and the bottom lets you use the ability with 1 attack. So if you enjoy the punching from Night Shift but not his mobility, but like the mobility of Magna Charge yet not his blaster, well, you take the best of both worlds to make Night Charge, who is a broken ass combo in my opinion. Yeah, some swaps hardly benefit each other, yet having the power to mix and match is crazy entertaining for children and adults.
I am a simple man entertained by simple things like swapping Skylanders or scratching my own ass and smelling it after. Don't lie, we've all done it. It's straight up Bath and Body Works for men.
Also, there are swap challenges you can do if the figure's bottoms fit the correct symbol. Some are enjoyable in my opinion, like the rocket and speed challenges, but the others are... meh. It was just a mixed bag of beans for me. I had moments where I was having fun with them, then I played a stealth challenge and began to write my will. Not only are Swap Force able to access those challenges, but also the introduction of mixed elemental gates.
Doesn't that excite you? I do have like one itty bitty complaint, and that's the magnet that connects the 2 pieces together. I won't deny, damn is this thing strong, but sometimes it is a bitch when one piece disappears and now you gotta rummage around searching for it. Hey, you sly motherfucker.
Oh, the most defining feature to Swap Force isn't the gimmick, it's actually the ability to jump.
It's beautiful.
It's crazy how we've gone 2 games restricted to no jumping, yet here it is, and oh boy howdy does it change the feel of Skylanders. Of course there's nothing crazy to do with a jump button, you aren't getting MVC3 combos in the air, yet it's simple enough to help with dodging and add more to the layout for some platforming. Sometimes the most basic platforming was enough to satisfy me. Like when Link finally jumped in Breath of the Wild, everyone collectively came in their pants. The level designs in Skylanders are walking in the right direction. Plus, they have a new coat of paint and themes. VV made the levels much longer with each nook and cranny containing collectibles, but what made them entertaining to me was how the combat and puzzle solving were spaced very well. Every level in my opinion had a healthy diet to keep me engaged, as one aspect never felt heavier than the other. Plus they even brought back adventure packs with 2 additions being Shipwreck Island and Tower of Time. How do you symbolize depression? The arena got brought back from Giants and sadly it's not the same as before. It's still a way to earn money, but your cash flow is totaled by how well you did, and Swap Force didn't go light on the enemies as they plead their second amendment to rock your shit. so rarely have I earned the muns to support myself, but that is where the bonus missions thrived, as these were little off-road challenges that are enjoyable until holy shit baby I'm rich.
Oh yes, it is time to go hit the casinos. Let's go!
12 seconds later.
I lost everything. Even my dignity.
That is the one aspect I love about Swap Force, because money is no problem in this game, as Swap Force just suffocates you in cash and lets you upgrade your Skylanders that I feel is a necessity to the series. There are so many ways to earn income, from just the levels, arena, bonus levels, and even time challenges where you have to beat the level before time runs out, to score mode where you need to have a hefty score by the end of the level, while also taking into account the treasure chest after each level for a freebie, and the other is playing a puzzle minigame of combining electric jellies together that I don't know if 2 games straight of Lockmaster puzzles were getting monotonous, but I found these puzzles more challenging and entertaining. Plus look how cute these little bitches are. I swear I will protect these jellies with my life. Now Skyland's got a new design change that helped greatly, cause I'm a sucker for pudgy cartoon designs. So seeing old Skylanders in the world of Cloudbreak was fresh to the eyes. It did take me a moment to accept Flynn's look and Chompy's having big eyes. This new style tags along with the theming of each level, bringing a fresh vibrance to them. I know stepping out to do unique themes away from what has been previously established is difficult, of course. Why else do you think Mario games have a plethora of desert levels with minor changes like an angry sun or Mexicans? But at least Swap Force made an effort to get some fresh themes that are delicioso. But the ones that were different really stuck out to me, such as the village of Slambam's race in the snowy mountains, or the western town of Terrafin's race in the desert, and even seeing Whirlwind's Illuminator gift helping the Frost Elves. Okay, I think there's a trend in my interest. I'm a sucker for lore, so finally seeing how Skylanders actually contribute to the world, or even what others of the race look like, is amazing to me. One aspect of Swap Force though that surprised me was how they made actual boss fights. Back in Giants there was an attempt, but now in Swap Force you have fully fledged boss fights. Of course these are meant for children, so you can't have a Dark Souls boss in a Skylanders game, but for what we got, I do like them. I am noticing a trend though with singing bosses, like so far we had Drill X with dubstep, and now Mesmeralda with theater. What's next? Chaos with country? If there is one boss fight that stuck out to me, it's the one against Chaos's mom. It's just a heavy enemy gauntlet, but what makes it unique is how she'll dip out for a bit, and the only way to find her is to take your Skylander off the portal because she's hiding in it.
Even as an adult, this was the coolest part to the whole game. I mean, finally utilizing the portal in a way to actually mix the Toys for Life with the virtual world, like through a different means. Oh, amazing. Plus it was on a boss fight, so that's even cooler.
I love games that break the fourth wall, so when this happened, I was genuinely lost and ready to look up what to do, but then I noticed the portal was purple, and that's when the old noggin kicked in, and I found that bitch in it. So even if the boss fights are mid, Vicarious Vision found a comical way to continue that magic of Toys for Life.
Oh, wait a minute. If Chaos's mom is in the portal, then that means I can... Oh...
Clearly, Skylanders Swap Force is an amazing game that took the series to new heights, and I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong.
Oh no, it all went wrong!
The series was heading towards a better direction, yet Skylanders were still a victim of their own success. Even though the gameplay got updated to being the best it ever was, there were still 4 big problems that destroyed the series. The first problem is the gameplay.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to gaslight you. I swear I won't gaslight you ever again. I won't even scare you. I swear.
More specifically, the need for Swap Force figures, because Swap Force felt it was their God-given duty to help you buy 6 more Swap figures that had each ability and element to get the full experience of Swap Force. That shows how greedy Activision was getting. Also taking into effect the amount of new figures and variants.
These are SBR's last words. Why was there an Easter-themed Trigger Happy? Like, was Jesus Christ a fucking portal master? Period.
We have been playing the same song and dance for 3 years now. Activision keeps making more and more Skylanders that were killing our wallets. Parents and Skylander enjoyers noticed how expensive it was becoming, making this the generation where many people fell off with Skylanders. This practice of an annual release works with IPs like Pokemon and Call of Duty because those are standalone games with some new tweaks for $60. But Skylanders isn't like that. It's a $70 purchase with $200 or so extra to collect everything.
I mean, I had to sell my car, I had to sell my house, I had to sell my body. But at least I have you, my love.
If only Skylanders waited an extra year in between to let people gather what's new. But no, they had to make a game every year because they needed their annual slap and tickle.
But we haven't discussed the mouse in the room. Oh shit!
2013 was a political time for children because you had to decide if you were a Skylander man or an Infinity bitch. The difference between Skylanders is how they are new OCs that children have to be attracted to, yet Disney Infinity are already acquainted IPs we all know and love. You could be blindfolded and still know who the character is.
It's Goofy!
Add in the fact that people have been playing Skylanders for 2 years now with similar gameplay did have many fans deviate to buy Disney Infinity because it was the fresh new thing. But now consumers were getting saturated by the 2 Toys for Life series because of the amount of figures on both sides.
Is it me? But it's the picture coming together?
Lastly, this was the generation where Skylanders fans began crying because of the price it cost to collect all the figures. And this is why I don't get the bitches.
To get a little into the background information on what was going on, when Skylanders would release into stores, they would come out in waves. So whatever was out on the shelves right now, when the store would get their next wave, they can push that out, especially when Skylanders were selling well. So majority of the time, everything was going to reach the shelves at one point. But then when Disney Infinity hit the scene and Skylanders weren't really selling so well, things kind of changed and a lot of those Skylanders from later waves did not go out onto the shelves. And even then, a lot of stores didn't even buy those waves of Skylanders or even then put them out because the ones that are out weren't even selling, leaving a majority of those later wave Skylanders where Doomstone was kinda in the dust. And if it did hit the shelf, oh, well, scalpers went ahead and, you know the story from there. We had to buy from third parties.
This problem just kept getting worse, as characters like Scratch and Doomstone are just the tip of the iceberg. This affected Swap Force because people would want these characters and there was no affordable option, pissing off the fans that they had to pay even more for a character that could have easily been at the store if it wasn't for those meddling Disney nerds. So with the greedy necessity for figures, saturation of their own figures, Disney Infinity War, saturation of Toys for Life, and the rarity of figures due to the lack of sales, kinda leaves you with an unconsented fornicated cake. Sadly, Swap Force may have been the hero, but it was actually the villain instead. There is no saving the series from the nosedive they are taking, and as much as many love Swap Force for what it brought to the table, Skylanders as a whole has already become a victim of its own success, and now we just have to wait till it perished a slow death 3 years later.
That was depressing. But I am not done yet.
I still love Swap Force, and honestly, this game is the definitive Skylanders experience so far. Vicarious Visions took the series to a new plane with animation, gameplay, and challenges that awoke a childlike wonder in me. I swear I was like a child curious to what mix would be fun, or just pulling off attacks and feeling giddy by the destruction. Skylanders Swap Force is just an amazing game that offers so much and makes me glad I had a curiosity in reviewing Skylanders because Swap Force was where I fell off the series. It was just too much money at the time and I felt like I was too old back in 2013. Now playing it as an adult, I wish I kept going because this game is such a treat and honestly became one of my favorite games of all time.
Dang, this is kind of the most somber ending I've had in a game review. But I just want to express my love for this game so much because I genuinely love Skylanders Swap Force. It's just a masterpiece. And I want to know it for you guys, you know? Like, do you guys enjoy it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Tell me down in the comments below. Now we are 3 games down and I plan to make it 4 because in the next game will truly trap your attention. Yeah, now this is getting old. But like always, have a great day and thank you for watching.